Welcome back to Bike Culture Hub. The 2025 Yamaha Rajdoot 350 doesn't just roll down the street, it brings with it the echoes of a legend reborn. For many, the name Rajdoot conjures memories of a bygone era, a symbol of India's growing relationship with two-wheel mobility, and a name etched into the DNA of enthusiasts who saw it not just as transport, but as a part of their lives. Fast forward to today, and Yamaha has done something rather unexpected, yet entirely welcome. They've brought back the Rajdoot 350, and this time, it's modern, muscular, and soaked in heritage. This isn't a gimmick. It's not just nostalgia for nostalgia's sake. This is Yamaha honoring a legacy and giving it the power, poise, and refinement it always deserved. At first glance, the 2025 Rajdoot 350 feels like a love letter to the golden era of Indian motorcycling. But dig deeper, and you realize it's more than that. It's a fully engineered modern-day machine, crafted with care, forged with performance, and dressed with retro classic charm. The frame, while inspired by vintage steel cradle designs, now uses a lightweight twin downtube chassis that's been tuned for better balance and stability. The moment you throw a leg over it, the stance feels just right, neither too relaxed nor too aggressive. It's upright, commanding, and ready for long roads and winding hills alike. Powering this mechanical homage is a heart that's thoroughly modern, a 349 cubic centimeters air-cooled, single-cylinder engine paired with a fuel injection system tuned specifically for smooth throttle delivery and consistent performance across city traffic and highway cruising. Yamaha has kept things deliberately simple here. No turbocharged gimmicks or high-revving distractions. Instead, it delivers a solid 25 horsepower at 7,000 RPM and around 28 Nm of torque that kicks in early, at just 4,000 RPM. What this means is smooth, predictable acceleration, enough low-end grunt to pull you through tight city corners, and enough top-end to stretch its legs comfortably at highway speeds. The performance is honest, unpretentious, and characterful. Twist the throttle and the Rajdoot responds with a deep, thumpy note muffled just enough to meet regulations but tuned by Yamaha engineers to retain a distinctive old-school personality. The engine is mated to a 5-speed gearbox, with shifts that are clean and positive, and a clutch that's light enough for everyday riding but firm enough to feel precise when you want to dig in a little. At around 165 kilograms, the bike sits in that perfect midweight category. It feels planted and confident but not intimidating for newer riders. Suspension duties are handled by traditional 41mm telescopic front forks and dual adjustable rear shocks. There's no trickery here, but what Yamaha has done well is to tune this suspension for India's road conditions. Ride quality is plush, forgiving, and doesn't jar your spine every time you hit a pothole. It's one of those bikes that floats along broken tarmac with a certain old-school grace, yet doesn't wallow in corners. In fact, the handling is surprisingly sharp for a retro-styled machine. The center of gravity is low, the wheelbase generous, and the steering angle just aggressive enough to make slicing through traffic or enjoying a twisty mountain road a confident affair. Braking is courtesy of a 280mm front disc with a 2-piston caliper and a 220mm rear disc, both equipped with dual-channel ABS. The feedback at the lever is progressive and predictable, and the ABS doesn't cut in prematurely just when you need it. Tires come in the form of classic 18-inch spoked wheels wrapped in grippy tubeless rubber, another nod to vintage looks with modern practicality. The tires strike a good balance between grip and ride comfort, and are capable enough for a bit of light touring or weekend jaunts off the beaten path. Now let's talk about the way this motorcycle looks, because let's be honest, a big part of what makes the 2025 Rajdoot 350 special is its design. Yamaha has managed to walk the tightrope between retro and modern with finesse. The silhouette is unmistakably classic. That teardrop-shaped fuel tank, finished in deep enamel-like colors with gold pinstriping in the bold Rajdoot emblem, it's a visual throwback done right. The single-piece bench seat, trimmed in ribbed leatherette, sits atop a slim subframe that gently curves into the tail. Chrome elements are used tastefully on the exhaust, mirrors, and headlamp bezel, enough to add flair without overdoing it. The round headlamp is LED, but styled like a vintage halogen unit. The tail lamp is slim and minimal, again with LED internals tucked inside a 70s-inspired shell. The instrument cluster is a blend of analog and digital, a twin-pod setup with a speedometer and tachometer done in classic needles, flanking a discrete LCD that displays the essentials: fuel gauge, gear position, trip meters, and a clock. Switchgear is solid and tactile, with rotary-style knobs that mimic the toggles of classic British bikes. In terms of rider ergonomics, Yamaha has struck a sweet spot. The handlebar is wide and slightly pulled back, foot pegs are center set, and the seat height is just 790 mm, making it approachable for a wide range of riders. Even for taller individuals, there's enough room between the seat and the tank to avoid feeling cramped. It's a bike that feels natural from the get-go, no learning curve, just familiarity and comfort. Where the Rajdoot 350 truly shines, though, is in its sense of identity. While a lot of retro bikes feel like modern machines forced into old-school costumes, this Yamaha feels like it was born to look this way. It doesn't try to be too clever. It knows what it is, embraces its lineage, and delivers a ride experience that's part mechanical, part emotional. Yamaha has also added a few creature comforts to make it 2025 appropriate without betraying its retro soul. USB charging comes standard, along with Bluetooth connectivity for the LCD screen via the Yamaha Ride app. It's not overloaded with tech, but it does allow turn-by-turn navigation prompts and call alerts to pop up discreetly on the digital display. There's even a theft deterrent immobilizer and a sidestand engine cutoff for safety. Now for the part that matters to many: price. The 2025 Yamaha Rajdoot 350 comes in at an ex-showroom price of 2.45 Indian rupees lakh. That positions it smartly in the middleweight retro segment, going head-to-head with bikes like the Royal Enfield Classic 350, Jawa 42, and Honda SCB 350. But the Rajdoot brings something to the table those others can't. It carries not just Yamaha's engineering and reliability, but also the unique aura of being both a tribute and a continuation of a true Indian classic. The Rajdoot name isn't just slapped on here for marketing. It's reborn in spirit and performance. And for those who remember the original or those hearing the name for the first time, it creates a bridge between generations. Older riders will see their youth in it. Younger ones will see it as a gateway to a world where motorcycling is more than numbers, more than features, it's about feeling. Unique selling points? It starts with authenticity. This isn't a Japanese copy of an Indian classic. Yamaha was the name behind the original Rajdoot 350 in the 1980s, and they've used the DNA to fuel this revival. The build quality is excellent. Panel gaps are tight, paint finish is lustrous, and components feel built to last. It's also a relatively low-maintenance bike, thanks to its simple air-cooled motor and minimal electronics. Fuel efficiency is a decent 35 to 38 km/L, making it a surprisingly practical everyday motorcycle despite its heritage silhouette. The 2025 Yamaha Rajdoot 350 is more than just a motorcycle. It's an experience. A bridge between the analog soul of motorcycling's past and the demands of the modern-day rider. Whether you're cruising through crowded streets, rolling through the countryside, or parked at a cafe with curious onlookers gathering around, it makes a statement. And not in an aggressive, look-at-me way. In a respectful nod to history, a quiet confidence that says, I belong here. This has been Bike Culture Hub, bringing you closer to the machines that move us, in more ways than one. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the Yamaha Rajdoot 350, don't forget to like, subscribe, and let us know in the comments what bike you want us to explore next. Until then, ride safe, ride with soul, and keep the culture alive.